This is the final captivity. There'll be no more after this. Soon we'll be going home. The real Israel. Home. Big. He that has ears to hear will hear, and he will fill. She that has eyes to see will see, and she will believe. He that has ears to hear will hear, and he will fill. She that has eyes to see will see, and she will believe. Israel, awaken from your slumber. You've been sleeping far too long. It's time to rise, 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 rise up and know right from wrong. All around me is nothing but death and darkness. And the wicked them strife, them move and dodge and hunt them heartless. Devil a come for me life and we hold to the truth and sing praise regardless.
Shalom, 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 Israel. This is your host, Yeshua Judah. And we got a show that's lined out for you today that's going to be really nice. We're going to hit some really good topics today. This what you're listening to. It's called 12th Hour by the Kingdom Prepper. Okay? And
this fulfills the prophecy of Isaiah that says,
I picked this song because we really do need to wake up, Judah. We are in the 12th hour. Time is running out. I maybe even say the time is already ran out. But if we continue to blow this trump and wake our people up, we'll be all right. This is September 30th. The year they say 2021, on the day that the Greeks call Thursday. And again, I am your host, Yeshua Judah. I'm going to be solo dolo today. We don't have my co-host, Oxify, my wife. She's not going to be with me today, so I hope you guys show me love. Same amount of love that I show you guys, right? We're going to have a good show, though. I promise you that. We are going to have a good show today. So with that being said, let's get right to the show. Let's get to see this. Let's talk about what the Most High has in store for us. This is going to be a cocktail show today. We haven't talked about the cocktail in a while. There's been a lot going on in the news, so therefore I want to bring it to the attention of the people. One thing that I came across earlier this week was a statement from the Adventist Church. I could talk about the Adventist Church because that was the church that I was in when I came into this truth. I was in the Adventist Church. And I know their doctrine. I know how they think. I know how they teach. I know what it is that they use to convert proselytes into their union, right? I studied up under the Adventists from the time I was probably about 11 years old. I was in the church. I've been in different functions in the church. I had even became an elder in the church, right? I was a pathfinder, so I know Adventism. And one of the things that people are going to use to not get the job is that they're going to use religious reasons. And so I was like, that's going to be cool for Adventists, right? Because not in a million years did Yeshua Judah think that Adventists would be advocating the cocktail. But I was wrong. Adventist church say, no, 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 no. If you want to use religious reasons for not getting the cocktail, well, I tell you what, you're not going to get a recommendation or a letter from us saying that we reject the cocktail. You're not going to get that off of our back, okay? And they came out with a letter. They came out with a letter expressing how they thought about this. And as I was reading this, my mouth was dropped wide open because I know one of the major things that the Adventist church teach and preach is the health message. They say that the health message, along with the gospel, it is like the right and the left arm together. Sister White, who they call the prophetess of the church, she got tons of books on health. One of her books is called The Ministry of Health, if I'm not mistaken, right? So I'm like, there's no way that they're going to be advocating and telling their people that, hey, it's okay for you to get this cocktail. I'm like, not the Adventist people, and especially when they teach Revelation 13, which is the mark of the beast, right? So I was like, nah. We got a lot of stuff to get into, so I'm going to get right into this Adventist article. We get right into this Adventist article that we have. We're going to look at this. This is a news article, COVID-19 vaccines addressing concerns offering cancel, okay? From the Adventists, it says that the Seventh-day Adventists look to the coming of Christ as the great culmination of history and an end of all diseases, suffering, and death. At the same time, we have been entrusted with the Adventist health message embodied in and expanded upon by the writings of Ellen White, summarizing healthful living through practical and holistic, healthy lifestyle behaviors. We advocate all of these practices to maintain a healthy immune system. And in the pandemic, even more is needed. Ellen White was not only an inspired conduit of health information, much ahead of her time, but she modeled practical prevention in the face of lethal disease in her era, smallpox, and took the immunization herself, as did those close to her. Today, smallpox has been globally eradicated. Now, since then, everything has been advanced, right? But as you see this here, they saying that, look, Yasha made a comment one side. He said that the servant is not better than the master. And so this is pretty much what the Adventist church is saying here, right? That if our prophetess took vaccinations, surely we can too. She took the immunization herself, as did those that was close to her. But it goes on to say, there's a part that I want to get to in this article, and this is what we're really going to talk about. I'm going to read down to it. We hope that this article will answer questions, allay fears, and resolve some of the prevalent myths and rumors, thereby bringing peace to the hearts of our members as they make health decisions guided by their healthcare providers. These are rumors and conspiracy theories that use the COVID-19 vaccine as an interpretation and or fulfillment of prophecy. We asked the General Conference Biblical Research Institute for comments in this regard, and the response is as follows. The global upheaval caused by the COVID-19 pandemic has generated considerable speculations related to end times event and misinterpretations of the Bible. One recent view propagated through social media and some internet websites has put forward the theory that the upcoming vaccine produced to combat COVID-19 belong to a process of control that would lead to the application of the mark of the beast. Now, if you say that it's not, then I'll have to ask you, what rock are you up under? If you say that what they are implementing now is not going to lead to what Revelation 13 say, that poor or rich, free of bond will not be able to buy or sell unless you take the mark of the beast. I'm asking the Seventh-day Adventist General Conference if this, what we're looking at right now, is not going to implement that, then what is going to implement it? When you have public figures like the president and like the mayor of New York, which we're going to talk about a little bit in this show, telling you that if you want to function in our society, then you have to get the vaccine. In other words, if you don't get the cocktail, you're not going to be able to buy or sell. It don't matter if you're rich. It don't matter if you're poor. It don't matter if you're a slave. It don't matter if you're free. This is what the mark of the beast is. But this article goes on to say that it should be noted, however, that the Adventists hold to the conviction that the end time controversy will center on the law of God and particularly on the fourth commandment. Moreover, the third angel's message will warn against the reception of the mark and will enlighten humankind as to the issues involved. For this reason, it should be made clear that the Adventists understand the mark of the beast to be not a literal mark, but a sign of allegiance that identifies the bearers of loyal to the power represented by the beast. And this is exactly what the beast is asking you to do. Show your loyalty to us. How so, beast? By taking our cocktail. This is no different than what we saw in the book of Daniel. When you hear all of the instruments play, your job is to bow down to the image that we have before you. And if you don't bow down to the image that we have before you, when you hear the images, when you hear the instruments play, then we're going to have to put you to death. That's the same thing that we're looking at now. We're looking at the exact same thing now. Solomon said that there is nothing new up under the sun. Nothing new under the sun. So what the Adventist church is propagating here, I have no clue. But I'm going to tell you what the problem is. The problem is this tax code that is called 501c3. The Adventist church is in the bed with the beast. The Adventist church is not a solution. The Adventist church is a problem. The Adventist church have been conning people for years. I don't know what I was thinking of when my mom and myself became a part of this church. The very first message of the Adventists was a fluke. When they was telling people that Jesus was going to come in 1844, 1844 came, 1844 went, no Jesus. Then they went back in and say, oh yeah, that's right. We saw where our mistake was. He moved from the holy place to the most holy place. And they built a whole doctrine around this. And they are convincing people that the mark of the beast will be show your allegiance to God and not to the beast power. When the beast power is telling you that your allegiance to us will be that you will take this vaccine. And the Adventist church is saying, yes, take the vaccine. So you're not teaching the third angel's message. You're not teaching what the mark of the beast really is. But it gets even crazier. This is where I stop and my mouth drop wide open. For this reason, it should be made clear that the Seventh-day Adventists understand the mark of the beast to be not a literal mark, but a sign of allegiance that identifies the bearers as loyal to the powers represented by the beast. From a distinct perspective, another speculative view argues, I'm going to highlight this, that vaccines make those who take them unclean because supposedly unclean substances are used to produce them. In this regard, it should be clarified that the abiding biblical instructions forbidding the consumption of unclean food and blood do not apply to vaccines, for the obvious reason that vaccines are produced as medication to save lives, not to serve as food. So as long as you're not eating the shellfish that is in the cocktail, you're okay. It can still go in your temple, in the temple that is supposed to be holy, because in that temple is where the Holy Spirit resides, right? It's okay. As long as you are not smoking the formaldehyde that they're using in the cocktail as a preservative, it's okay. As long as you're not worried about the metals that they have in the cocktail, it's okay, because you're not eating them. Look, we are in the best of the worst of times. And what I mean by that is that we are in a time where everything and everybody is being exposed. No one has the opportunity to run from truth anymore. Everybody is showing their true colors. The president getting up in front of people talking like he they daddy. My patience is wearing thin. Either you get the vaccine or else what? Whatever happened to personal choice? This is my body, my body, my body. I decide what I put on it as well as I decide what I put in it. Like YouTube right now, coming up with a new policy to go through, and my channel may very well be in jeopardy. I don't know, but as long as I have a channel, I have a voice. But they're going to go through and do away with every anti-cocktail channel that is on here. Why? What are you afraid of? If your product is so good, what are you afraid of, YouTube? Tell us. Why are all of you guys coercing so many people to take your product if it's so good? No one has to be bribed to take things that are good. Once they realize that it's good, people go back. I'm from the 214 area, the 75 area, which is the Dallas, Texas area. Never in my life, and for those of you that is from Dallas, and if I'm wrong, correct me, but never in my life have I seen a Hall's commercial, Hall's chicken commercial, a Henderson's chicken commercial, or Rudy's chicken commercial on TV. But everybody in Dallas knows what Henderson's chicken is, what Hall's chicken is, and what Rudy's chicken is. Why? Because the product is good. Nobody don't have to say, I give you $500 if you go eat some of this Henderson's chicken. Nobody come to him and say, look, we'll give you paid time off if you go eat some of this. Eat some of this Rudy's chicken. Never have I seen a Henderson's or Rudy's chicken commercial. Why? Because the product is good. The chicken stands out for itself. You're trying to convince people that your product is good. That's like me. I hate mayonnaise, but I would eat Miracle Whip. And I used this analogy to my wife the other day. So YouTube is going to do away with all of anything that has anything negative to say about the cocktail, right? Because they only want you to hear their side. They only want you to hear their side. You can't hear nothing else. You can't make a decision of your own. That's out of there, right? That's like you trying to convince me that mayonnaise is good while you go to every store in my neighborhood and you remove all the Miracle Whip. You don't even give me an opportunity. So here we have the Adventist church, who is heavy in promoting the health law. The Adventist church is so heavy in promoting the health law that they tell their members that they shouldn't even drink coffee because of the caffeine. But yet it's okay. It's okay. You can go take that cocktail because the government say that it's good. This is one thing that a lot of people don't know about the Adventist church, and I'm going to tell it. The Adventist church, a huge percentage of the money that the Adventist church comes from is from hospitals. They are a medical church. So therefore, you got the 501c3 working against them. Plus, they are in bed with the scientists. So it's in their favor that you take the cocktail because I'm sure that some kind of way they get paid from it as well. But you say that I'm in a cult. That's the Adventist church and their stance. Let's go to our music break. When we come back, we're going to talk about New York firing their nurses.
Just follow my lead. Tell the government we don't want your damn vaccine. They can keep all that poison. Bam, if you can, try your best to avoid it. It's more and they poison. Get it on, 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 get it on. If you a rebel like me, just follow my lead. Tell the government we don't want your damn vaccine. They can keep all that poison. Bam, if you can, try your best to avoid it. It's more and they poison. Here we go again with all these shenanigans. Clones on the news repeating the same rhetoric. COVID this, COVID that, get the bags, wear your mask. Put all of your trust in these devils and disregard the facts. Anybody who speak against it, they shut them down. That's how it be when you putting the truth out. This ain't about no damn virus, this is all about control. If people open their eyes, they can see what's going on. Look, the shots don't work, people still dropping dead. Bill Gates is a devil, ain't no denying that. What about the lockdown? Oh, they bringing them back, but this time around it's going down. Believe that. Like me, just follow my lead. Tell the government we don't want your damn vaccine. They can keep all that poison. Bam, if you can, try your best to avoid it. It's more and they poison. Get it on, 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 get it on. Hey, be a rebel like me. Tell the government we don't need your vaccine. Ooh. Trying to alter my genes, but they don't understand my vision clear as Visine. That's the mark of the beast. Will you not be deceived? They in the hood trying to force all the blacks to receive like the ski. We ain't falling for another needle, especially understanding we the people. Believe it. I know a girl who messed around and got the badge on. Now she trembling non-stop, she down bad on. You know you can't get in the kingdom with that stamp on. I'm for sure willing to die, that ain't cap on. Like me, just follow my lead. Tell the government we don't want your damn vaccine. They can keep all that poison. Bam, if you can, try your best to avoid it. It's more and they poison. Get it on, 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 get it on. You a rebel like me, just follow my lead. Tell the government we don't want your damn vaccine. They can keep all that poison. Bam, if you can, try your best to avoid it. It's more and they poison. Get it on, 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 get it on.
All right, all right, all right. That is in Yarika featuring Karataza. Don't get it. It's one thing in that song that I disagree with, he said, try your best to avoid it. I'm not going to say try your best to avoid it. I'm saying avoid it at all costs. That's what I'm saying. And I can't walk around on eggshells, okay? Hoping that I don't get censored. I can't walk around on eggshells, hoping that, I get removed. I can't do that, okay? Because Ezekiel tells us, right? Most High told Ezekiel, look, your job is to warn the people, right? And if you don't warn them, then their blood is on you. But if you warn them, then you have saved yourself from their blood. See, their blood will not be on your hand. So I'm one. So as long as this is up, I'm not walking on eggshells. This is for real, man. And there was another line that he said in the song that we're going to get to as well, right? And this is the problem right now, is that they don't want nobody being able to think for themselves. When you're talking about cults, what they're doing is turning the whole world into a cult. What is a cult? A cult is a group of people who don't have a mind of their own, who is listening to a talking head. They're making a whole world into a cult. They don't work. Show me the data where they work. Show it to me. It makes absolutely no sense. Like the next story that we're getting into. This is the story. There was any story that if your eyes was open just a little bit, right? Just say that you was asleep. Say you 95% sleeping, that 5% you are awake. And sometimes you sleep and you can hear people talking, but you still sleep. You can hear, and then you hear that one thing and it gets you all the way up, right? It gets you all the way up. You're like, wait a minute, did I hear what I just heard? This is the one thing that could make you say to yourself, this has nothing to do about saving lives. This has everything to do about control. Everything to do about control. New York is now firing hundreds of staffers because they are refusing to take the cocktail. Make it make sense. I call hypocrisy on this, family. And the reason why I call hypocrisy on this is because this time last year, these same frontline workers that they call nurses, these was the ones that they was hailing as heroes. They all over the news, taking pictures of them. They parading them around. ABC World News Tonight talking about what a wonderful job that they are doing. These are the same people whom this time last year was hailed as heroes. And like I said, if you was to open your eyes just a little bit, you will see that this has nothing to do with saving lives, but this has everything to do with control. Right now, this time last year, the whole world was shut down. Football stadiums was empty. NBA arenas was empty. The rodeo here in Houston, Texas closed. Dallas did not have the state fair. It was closed. Disney, it was closed. But they telling us that on the news that we're still in the pandemic, but the stadiums are full. The arenas are full. Disney is open. The rodeo is going to go on this year. The fair is already going on right now. They just had the Grambling State PV game, right? All of this is happening, right? So when it was so bad that everything had to close, and you supposedly had so many patients in the hospital that you had to hire people from other states to come in, especially in New York, because it was the epicenter, right? It was where it all went down there, right? You had to hire people to come in so that they can give the normal people in New York a break so that they can get some rest. Now you say you're going to fire them because they won't take the cocktail? Make it make sense. Make it make sense, because right now it makes absolutely no sense. If we were in such dire positions, right? Because they want you to believe Even though your eyes are telling you the truth. This is one of these times where you can believe your eyes. Your eyes are telling you the truth that it's not as bad as they saying that it is. And if it was as bad as they say that it is, would it not make sense to keep those who are trained, who went through this when it was at its worst, who done already seen the bad and the ugly? Wouldn't it make sense to keep them in a position and let them continue to work? Instead of threatening to fire them if they don't take. Hey, Adventists, don't that sound like Revelation 13 to you? Hey, Adventists, talk to me. Because if you're not working, you're not making any money, right? If you're not making any money, then you're not going to be able to do what? Buy anything. Hey, Adventists, why you saying that you don't see that the cocktail is the mark of the beast? Let's see what the Bible says. This is Revelation 13, starting at verse 11. I beheld another beast coming out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spoke as a dragon, and he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and caused the earth and them that dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. He doeth great wonders, that he maketh fire come down out of the earth in the sight of men. And he deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by means of the miracles which he had power to do, saying unto them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound and the sword, and did live. And he had power to give to the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he caused all, both small, great, rich, poor, free, bond, to receive a mark in the right hand or in the forehead, and that no man may buy or sell save he that hath the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. But wait a minute. That's not talking about the vaccine. That's talking about the fourth commandment, the Sabbath, right, Adventists? Hundreds of hospital staffers are being fired for refusing the COVID-19 vaccine. That sounds like a beast power to me. That sounds like either you do what I say or you hit the road. In fact, those were the words. If you want to function in our society, this is what you have to do. Hundreds of healthcare workers across the country are being fired, suspended in droves for not complying with COVID-19 vaccine mandates. President Joe Biden announced earlier this month a vaccine mandate for healthcare facilities that receive Medicare and Medicaid reimbursements, impacting some 17 million healthcare workers in the nation. States include New York, California, Rhode Island, and Connecticut also set vaccine mandates for healthcare workers that take effect this week. If you want to eat, this is what the beast is telling you. If you want to eat, then you got to take the mandate. Either you are about saving lives or you're not. Either you are about saving lives or you're not. Because if you're really about saving lives, America, aka beast power, and you are exercising all of your authority right now, if you're about saving lives, it would make sense that you would not be threatening the jobs of the people who worked so hard, whom you held as heroes this time last year. They've been through it. What was they working? 12, 15, 16-hour shifts, watching the people dying, seeing them come in with COVID, all on the ventilators. And now because they won't take the vaccine, you're going to fire them? Because the people who are being treated has to know that the people who are treating them can't give them COVID. Well, if they already in the hospital, they already got COVID, dummy. That's what they there for. And if they've been doing this job all of this time and they fine, well, obviously they're professionals. They know what they're doing. Make it make sense. This has nothing to do with saving the lives of people, but this has something to do with putting junk in your body. You can call me a conspiracy theorist. You can call me crazy. You can say whatever it is that you want to say about me. I don't care. It don't matter. But this is my body, and I'm not going to let nobody force me to do with this body that I don't want to do. Imagine taking a vaccine so that you don't lose your job, and they fire you anyway. Let that sink in. You did something that you didn't want to do because you didn't want to lose your job, but yet you lose it anyway. You can't reach inside and take it out now. It's in you. America lives off of fear. The Most High has not given his people a spirit of fear, but he has given us a spirit of sound mind. Which brings us to our sports talk. This young man's name is Bradley Beal. Now, I'd be lying if I told you I knew who he was, because I don't. I don't watch the NBA like that no more. I know absolutely nothing about the NBA. The last player that I knew that played in the NBA, his name was Dirk Nowitzki, right? When he retired, I retired as a fan, right? But this young man here, as of right now, this young man here, along with Kyrie Irving, which we're going to talk about as well before we get out of here. This young man here, this is the type of Negro that America is scared of. Watch this video.
I guess both sides of the coin, the perspective, because of this question and of this debate. Obviously, it's not an easy situation for you because you're a role model in the spotlight. I guess, do you understand, I guess, the whole thing, the whole picture?
Yeah, I have family. My mom and dad are vaccinated. My older brothers are vaccinated. My sister-in-law is vaccinated. I know people that have people that are very close to me that are vaccinated, just as well as I have people that are close to me and related to me that are not. So it's a fine line. It's a personal choice between everybody. 100%. Like, I understand both sides of it. Like, I understand that there is a percentage of people who can get very sick. I didn't get sick. I didn't get sick at all. I lost my smell, but that was it for me. Everybody's gonna react different. Everybody's gonna take it differently. I mean, some people have bad reactions to the vaccine. Nobody likes to talk about that. And what happens if one of our players gets the vaccine and they can't play after that, or they have complications after that? Because there are cases like that, but I feel like we don't talk about those as heavily because they're so minute, maybe. But I mean, they are existent. So it's like I said before, we can talk all day about it. Everybody's going to have their own opinion. Everybody's going to have their own timing and comfort of when they feel like they want to meet those criteria or needs, or feel like they want to go through with getting the vaccine.
Now, he answered the question, but he did not answer the question according to what the reporter wanted him to ask. The question that the reporter asked is, do you understand your job as a celebrity? meaning that you have to get on board with the agenda, Bradley. When this camera is in front of you and this mic is in front of you, you have to get on job with the agenda, especially with you being a young black male in America playing on one of the biggest stages in America. We need your voice to be heard as to, we need you to go out here and we need you to take the jab. The way this young man asked this question, though, and he did answer it, but he didn't answer it according to how they wanted him to answer it. But the way he answered it was beautiful. Yeah, I understand. I understand that it's a personal choice. See, this is what they're trying to steal from us. Choice. They're trying to steal something from us that the Most High gave us from the very beginning, which is choice. Ezra's even asked him, he said, look, man, why didn't you just not create us to where we couldn't do wrong? It was like, I'm not going to do that. No. Because if you love me, I want you to love me because you choose to love me. He said, look, Adam, out of all of the trees of the fruit that is in this garden, you can freely eat. But the tree that is in the midst of the garden, he said, do not touch, do not eat, because the day that you do, you shall die. At that moment, Adam had a choice to obey or disobey. So right now you got YouTube trying to do away with all of anything that has any negative to say about the vaccine. The young man said, look, what about all of the adverse reactions that people get? We're not talking about that. He said they exist, and they do exist, but we're not talking about that. And they trying to make it seem like if you choose not to get this jab, then you're selfish. Because you're not thinking about your neighbor. Well, I tell you what, I'm going to think about me before I think about my neighbor. And yes, I am my brother's keeper. But I can't take care of my brother if I'm sick. So in all reality, guess what? I am thinking about my brother. Because I got to make sure that I'm well. I got to make sure that I'm fit. Because if something happens to my brother, I got to be able to help him. No one want to talk about the negative issues. They exist. But the brother was not through. Wait a minute.
Every player, every person in this world is going to make their own decision for themselves. I would like an explanation to, people with vaccines. Why are they still getting COVID? If that's something that we are supposed to highly be protected from. Like, it's funny that, it reduces your chances of going to the hospital. It doesn't eliminate anybody from getting COVID, right? So is everybody in here vaxxed? I would assume, right? So you all can still get COVID, right? We're less likely to die or go to the hospital. Okay, but you can still get COVID. Right. So, and you can still pass it along with the vax, right? I'm just asking the question.
Oh, sure. And so, like, having COVID back around the Olympics, like, that basically just saying, like, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but did having it change your opinion one way or another? Like, did it kind of re-emphasize, I don't need the vaccine because of that?
No, that wasn't the case. I mean, yeah, I had it, but that doesn't mean I can't get it again, I mean, it's no different than somebody with the vaccine. Like, yes, I developed the antibodies for it, so my chances will be less likely now as well, right? But it's still a possibility I may get it. Just like there are players and coaches and staff who are vaxxed and missing camp right now because of it, so.
The young man said, look. Young man said, look. It don't reduce the chances of me getting it. So what's the point of getting it? What's the point? Tell me. Why should I get it? I can still get it. All of you out here, he say, are vax, right? All of you guys are vaccinated, right? But you still can get it. Not only can you still get it, you can also spread it to others, just like me. And I ain't got it. I can get it and I can spread it to others. The only difference between you and me is you got stuff floating around in your body, and I don't. Because I choose not to. And that was a beautiful question that he asked in a previous part of this interview, where he said, what if one of our players get the jab and can't play after that? Just last week we did a show on Vinny Curry that plays for the Jets, who promoted the jab, right? Got the jab, and now his career is over with. Come on, make it make sense. What I like about this dude, Bradley Beal, is that he's well-spoken as well. This is, like I say, this that Negro that white people is scared of. Because he can think for himself. He's not buying the rhetoric. Washington Wizards guard Bradley Beal raised more than a few eyebrows on Monday when he said that he declined to get the COVID-19 vaccine for personal reasons. That should be enough said right there. The best answer that I done heard since this vaccine been out as to why you're not going to get it is a young lady that my wife and I know. And her answer was, because I don't want it. And they asked again, I mean, I can understand you don't want it, but why are you not getting it? Because I don't want it. But what's the reason behind? Because I don't want it. I can give you all of the reasons in the world as to what may be in it, I don't want it, as to I don't trust it, I don't want it, as to I don't trust the science, I don't want it. But it all boils down to I don't want it, which is a personal reason. While also using anti-vaccine misinformation, they say. I got to show that. Hold on. Stare at the bottom. While also using anti-vaccine misinformation to justify his decision. Why is it that whenever we decide that we don't want to do it because of personal reasons, it's misinformation? Because y'all didn't say it? Because that's not Fauci said? That's not what, I can't even think of her name, because that's not what she said? And they always tell you to go listen to the scientists, listen to the doctor. They all are in the same boat. They all work for the same people. Why go talk to the same people when they all gonna tell me the same thing? Quit telling me that mayonnaise is better than Miracle Whip and you hiding all the Miracle Whip. Let me taste the Miracle Whip and make a decision. I tell you what, I just don't even want your mayonnaise. Give me mustard, okay? Let's move on. We got to get this stuff in, man. We got a young man here whom I can't really say I dislike, but I can say that this guy has principles. And because of choices that he has made in his life early, he can't live by the principles that he will want to. There are things that this brother have to do that he don't want to do, and this is one of them. Let's watch this.
Comes down for me, I can speak about myself. I think everyone has their own choice to do what they feel is right for themselves and their family, things of that nature. I know that I was very skeptical about it all, but after doing my research and things of that nature, I felt like it was best suited for not only me, but for my family and for my friends. And, that's why I decided to do it. So, but as far as, I don't, you guys should know me, anything that I talk about, I don't talk about other people and what they should do. I speak for me and for my family, and, that's what it's about.
But you think that the issue is important enough for someone with your stature to speak out on?
We're talking about individuals' bodies. We're not talking about something that's, political or racism or police brutality and things of that nature. We're talking about like people's bodies and well-beings. So I don't feel like, for me personally, I should get involved in what other people should do for their bodies.
Come on now.
It would be me talking about somebody, if they should, take this job or not. Listen, you have to do what's best for you and your family. If they should relocate, you have to do what's best for your family. So I know what I did for me and my family. I know some of my friends and what they did for their families. But as far as speaking for everybody and their individualities and things they want to do, I don't feel like it's not my job.
Now, one would say what he said was great. And in a way it was everything but at the beginning when he said that I took the vaccine, right? Because that was enough for people to be like, well, if LeBron got it, maybe I need to go get it as well. When I say that this guy has principles, this is a guy who really genuinely, I feel like, and I could be wrong, but this is a guy who I genuinely feel like care about his people. And he care about his family, right? And he care about us that look like him. But he was young when he came into this thing. And by the way, I want to say something. Your king is not a king because kings are not told what to do. Kings tell people what to do. So they could call him King James all he want, but he's showing you that his employer said, look, you're going to have to say something, right? I don't care how you say it, but you're going to have to say something to advocate this here, right? Now, you use your articulate ways to get your message still across, but you're going to have to say something. Look, I got these pictures up here because LeBron is a boule. And I didn't want to say he was a boule without proving it. You're not going to go and say, man, here he go again. No, he got it on his chest. Look at it. It's there on his chest, right there. I'm left-handed. I always get this thing confused, right? But it's right there on his chest. Boule. So what does that mean? That means that when you take that oath of that brotherhood, there is an agenda that is more important than you. Now, the question is this. Listen to this brother. And this is a smart brother. Who's to say that he took the cocktail? Did you see it? Was it on ESPN? Was it on any news stations? We just only got his word to say that he took it. Because he said, after I did my research, I realized what was good for me and my family. Well, if he really did research on it, as smart as this brother is, he ran from it. He didn't go to it. He ran from it. But because he boule, he got to say that he got it. And this is the other thing. What was good for your family, bruh? You can't say that you didn't when your owner said that, look, fully vaccinated players are the one. What will hold up? We work really hard with our UCLA health partners and our team doctors and players and agents and family members. And on opening night, when we play the Golden State Warriors, all of the players that are currently signed on our roster that night will be deemed fully vaccinated. He said deemed fully vaccinated. Well, Mr. Six for the Lakers just deemed himself fully vaccinated, but that don't mean that he is. to say something. Did you not hear what the reporter say? Somebody of your stature. What does that mean, of your stature? See, we need famous people to tell people in Dallas to go eat Henderson's, man. Because they don't know what they're missing out. No, you don't. You don't need nobody to tell nobody in Dallas to go eat Henderson's. Why? Because Henderson speaks for itself. When there was only one Henderson, which was in South Dallas, people drove all the way from Oak Cliff late at night to South Dallas to go get them some Hendersons. Because Henderson speaks for itself. Why do you need all of these famous people to convince people to take your jab? I'm just to pull this down, his name, because I want you to read what he said so that you won't think that I'm making this stuff up. Saturday, I took Pilates class, yoga class, swimming at auditorium back home. I can't tell you exactly where it was at. It's a secret place. We hold a secret society over there. We don't tell too many people. Sometimes you got to go against your own principles for the betterment of the brotherhood. But I'm not just to be your poster child to say, hey, everybody needs to go. I'm doing the very least that I can, but still doing what I'm supposed to do. That's what I'm doing. We got another one we got to get to before we get out of here. Got like 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Let's talk about this other Mason dude. Here we go.
Shaq, how he would handle the situation with Kyrie Irving. For those of you who are not following this, Kyrie Irving, while he says that his vaccination status is a private matter, I think it's abundantly clear that he has not been vaccinated, and he plays his home games in New York City. And New York City has a law. He cannot play. I'm not going to get into all the details of the law. The bottom line of it is he cannot play home games if he's not vaccinated. He can't. So he is either going to play 41 games this year, or he's going to get vaccinated, or he's going to be on another team. Those are the three options. Oh, I guess he could retire. Those are the options. There are no other options. So they asked Shaq, what would you do about this? And he said, I would go upstairs and say, get Kyrie up out of here. Get him out of here. Whoever owns the Brooklyn Nets, get his butt up out of here.
So I just introduced to you two types of Negroes. You got the house Negro and you got the field Negro. The house Negro like his position. The house Negro is, Massa, as the house is burning, Massa, what is we's gonna do? While the field Negro will cut Massa's throat while he sleep. Many would say, Shaq would say, get Kyrie out of here because it's for the betterment of the team. But no, that's not what it is. Get him out of here because that field nigga don't know how to act in the house. Why I got these pictures? Because Shaq telling you that he's a gatekeeper. I remember when he got that ring, it was on NBA Thursdays. How he was sitting up there so proud about what he got, and people probably clapping along about what he got, not realizing what the brother had to go through to get that what he got. Get him out of here because that field nigga don't know how to act in the house. Shaq is that nigga who say, who that nigga on that nag? I like Kyrie. And I'm going to tell you why I like Kyrie. Because Kyrie got principles. Well, what principles do Kyrie have, Yeshua? Kyrie got the principles that he is willing to sacrifice paychecks because of what he believes. He not finna sing and dance for massa. You want me to knock down these rolls of cotton for you, massa? Well, leave me alone so I can work and let me knock down these rolls for you. But don't ask me nothing else, okay? New York got the rule that if you unvaccinated, you can't be in these buildings. Kyrie understand that. And the thing is that nobody knows if he's vaccinated or not. Kyrie say, that's my business. That's my personal business. Is he wrong? When did we have to start disclosing our medical history to the media or to our family or to our pastors or to our employers or to anybody as far as that concerned? Why are you so concerned on if I have the vaccine or not? That's my business. So because he won't say, he may miss 41 games. That's upwards to $400 and some thousand a game. And you got your homie over here, Mr. Black and White Mason, gatekeeper. So that's why you niggas stay in the fields, because you don't know how to act. So I tilt my hat to Mr. Kyrie Irving. As of right now, because we don't know what tomorrow will bring, because these people have their way of getting what they want. We have seen that, right? But as of right now, Kyrie is like, look, man, it's my business, and all I'm asking you to do is to respect my privacy. When you see Negroes like Shaq, and they make comments like that, understand that that brother is not your friend. He's still doing Papa John commercials. Lying, talking about now he own Papa John's. I don't know. If he do, it's not a majority share. It's not enough for him to be talking about he own it, right? He might got some stocks in it. He's still doing Papa John commercials. Well, the man said he got a problem with saying nigga, and he gonna try to help himself that he ain't gonna say it no more. That's your man, Shaquille O'Neal. Shaquille O'Neal. Come on now. I hope I ain't bored you too much by myself. I'm Shair Yeshub Judah. This is Truth Be Told Flex Podcast. It's all unraveling. Episode number 29. Wolf in sheep clothing, because that's what America is. Until next Thursday, keep my co-host Shair Yeshub Judah in prayer, and hopefully he'll be able to sit down with us the next week. And looking forward to next week. Y'all have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful week.